Hi mamas, April Asorson here from mynaturalchildbirth.org. I just recently wrote a blog post and posted it up about something that I believe is absolutely essential to give you an amazing natural childbirth without the pain and without the struggle and without a lot of the fear that a lot of women go through when they give birth. First of all, I want to tell you that birth is not anything to be afraid of. It's something that's completely normal, it's completely natural, and we are women, we are truly, truly amazing creatures, and we are put here to do that. Our bodies are made to birth. But what happens when we get in the moment and we don't quite believe that within ourselves? We haven't quite hit that point to where we feel like we're worthy enough to have an amazing birth, or to feel like we're brave enough or strong enough, or whatever it is. We have hang-ups, all of us. We have hang-ups, we have insecurities, we have pain inside of ourselves that has built up throughout our lives. And I'm no different than you are. I also have these issues, and when I was pregnant, it was really, really important that I did a lot of soul searching and a lot of looking inside of myself and a lot of spending time trying to clear out all of that stuff that was going to get in the way, because the way that birth works is it is so extremely powerful that it comes into you and it really accesses every part of you. There's absolutely no hiding from yourself when you're giving birth, no hiding at all. So if you have issues that haven't been dealt with and you go into your birthing time, they will come up. They will always come up in the form of some sort of complication, especially if you have fears, anger, anything. So really start going through yourself and start trying to find that really strong woman, trying to find that really strong sense of self within yourself before you go into your birthing time. And this is the key. I had a mama in my birthing class, which she really ended up having an awesome birth, but it took her a while to get to that point in her birthing time where the pressure waves came on and she was kind of taken back by them. They were so strong and so intense. She'd never experienced anything like that before. And instead, just in that moment, we're all human. And in that moment, she let herself kind of fall victim to fear, and she started, oh gosh, this is really, really rough. I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle this. And from that point, her mind started going astray, and then her contractions began to slow, and eventually, and that's okay. It's okay if your contractions slow down. Eventually, they will start up again when you get to a better emotional state of mind. But her secret to tell you was, so in birth, you really reach this almost superhuman state of being. And everything's intensified, everything's magnified, and if you let yourself flow into birth, if you just let it flow through you and really try and connect with that birthing energy and really open to it instead of fighting it, just allowing it to come, completely allowing it to come, it kind of takes you away to this other place. Like, it's almost like an alternate world or an alternate reality. You're still based here, yes, but it's really an alternate place. And she was telling me how it was kind of weird because she would go to this alternate place and her birthing waves would be coming in really strong and she'd be going along really, really good. And then the next minute she'd kind of snap herself out of it because she would be self-conscious, or, for a million reasons she would have some sort of thought in her mind that would propel her backwards in her journey. And so the absolute key to having a great birth is to really, really stay present in the moment. 100% present in the moment. It's like, I used in my blog post this example, and I think it's a really good example. I've heard it used before, but it's like the surfer who is riding these huge ocean waves, and they're so powerful and they're so fierce, and he just has to go with it. He just has to go and free his mind, and he can't afford to think for a second. He can't afford to think, oh no, what if I crash? Because the second that thought enters into your mind, that's when you do crash. And it's the same thing with birth. When those pressure waves come on and when you're feeling the intensity, you really have to embrace them. Like, you really have to accept them. Like, I want these pressure waves to come into me. I want to feel this. Like, you have to really embrace the power. You can't shy away from it at all. And you can't let your mind linger. So let's say that you had a contraction and your mind went off into thinking, oh my gosh, that's really strong, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do 15, 16 more hours of this. And in that moment, when you're thinking that, so your pressure wave has come and it's gone. But in your mind, you are not in the present moment. You're not on to the next pressure wave. You're still thinking about the last pressure wave that was painful, or you're thinking about the future pressure waves, which will be painful. And, I mean, not that they will be painful, but that's what happens in your mind, like when you start to analyze them. You can't compare them to anything. They're strong, I guess is the closest thing that I can say. But if you try and label them, you try to judge them, it's just so easy for those old patterns of thoughts to re-enter into our mind, because we've heard 1,000 times, we've seen 1,000 times, even more than that, that birth is horrible, that birth is painful and traumatic, and it's not something that we want to openly go into. It's something that we want to shy away from and we're afraid of. And if you're trying to judge the way your birthing waves are during your birth, that same familiar pattern will come in. So the only way to avoid that is just completely open to it. Just let go of all judgments, let go of all expectations, and just really just free yourself to it and just allow it to come, embrace it, open yourself to it, and stay in the present moment. If that last birthing wave was strong and it was hard, that's okay. When it's over, and you're on to the next. When you have that period of rest in between your birthing waves, that's the time to really rest and be in the moment. Don't be thinking about the future pressure waves. Don't be thinking about the past pressure waves. Just think about in the moment. Right now is your time to rest, to fully, completely rest. You can lay your head down. You can just rest completely. And then during your pressure waves, that's the time to really embrace the power. And when I say embrace the power, I don't mean like clench up and like try and physically embrace the power. I mean more like allow the power to go through you, and relaxing while you're allowing that power to go through you, just accepting everything your birthing time brings, no matter if it was what you expected or not. So it's a really strong message, and it's a really important message, and that's what got me through my birthing time, is really, really actively staying in the present moment. And I know that it's hard for a lot of us to get there, and what I did is in my pregnancy, so I had 9 months, right, to prepare myself. So I'm not Superwoman. I'm not, free of any sort of self-doubts or anything. I too am human, and I had 9 months to prepare myself. I had 9 months to go through myself and work on that. And how I did that is I practiced staying in the present moment just in my life while I was pregnant. I practiced, not, if somebody said something rude to me in the store, not lingering on it, not letting it go into my day or into my next minute or hour or anything, just completely letting it go, completely releasing anything and everything, just always allowing yourself to be in the present moment, because you realize once you're in the present moment, nothing else really exists. The present moment is all there is. It really is all there is, and if you act within the present moment, then you really truly are allowing yourself to act from your potential, from your true, pure potential and strength of who you really are. And we are all so much more amazing than we have ever been led to believe that we are. And you absolutely can do it. You are strong, you are capable, and you can do this, and you will do this. My best advice to you is just don't fight it, embrace it, allow it to happen, and just stay completely in the present moment. Thank you for joining me. You can check out my blog at mynaturalchildbirth.org. I also have a Facebook page, Embracing Natural Childbirth. You can catch me on either one of those. Thank you. I hope you're having a wonderful pregnancy, and happy birthing.